Hi, everybody. I just wanted to provide one of a two-part series on something that I'm doing a little bit of additional research on, and it's related to what's called the field of cymatics. And if you've ever heard of cymatics before, it is when so they've created a science of taking sound vibration and then they'll either use water or they could use sand, salt, or something else. And when they play the sound vibration, there'll be like a plate and it'll create a geometric pattern based upon the frequency of the sound. Okay. And so one of the things that's been going on in the field of somatics has been incredibly intriguing to me. And I finally had a little bit of time to really sit down and do some research. I'm a psychic medical intuitive. And so I can sense frequencies with people that I'm working with at a cellular level. And that can also be with their organs, whatever it is, whenever I'm working with them, I can feel disturbances in their frequencies coming from a cellular level. And I came across this information, and it is by, I'm going to try to remember what his name is. Um, it is Dr. John Stewart Reed. And he has created a cymatic machine that is showing pictures of the geometric patterns of human cells. And I was just like, I've got to see this. And I came across this, and it just floored me yesterday. I'm going to show you a picture I printed out. So on this side, hopefully you can see this. On this side, what we see, this is the frequency of a healthy cell. Okay. And we'll discuss a little bit of this. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth with you, but I do think it's really important to understand this, each of you. This is a healthy cell. And as you can see, there's a beautiful geometric pattern. And this pattern actually has, I couldn't print out the full page, but there's 8. There's a wave, and I'll explain a little bit of that to you in a minute. And then there's 8. So that's a full octave, okay? Now this right here, look at this. This is an unhealthy cell. And I have to be honest, as a healer, I saw this and I felt it, and it actually made tears come out of my eyes, and I didn't even know why. So this is it's a cancer cell, okay? And so I did a little bit more background research, and what I learned is that so in every cell, and this is going to take you back to maybe the 6th or 7th grade, there's cytoplasm in the cell, and that's the liquid that's inside of the cell. In a healthy cell, it's a lot more firm. The cell has bounce to it, and it's firm. In an unhealthy cell, it's very liquidy. Okay. So then what I looked at here, if you look at this picture, what you see, at first I didn't know what I was looking at, because I do understand, and we can go into it in another session, another video about how the divine creates through the cells and at a subatomic level. Okay. And what I was looking at here, I thought that's what I was looking at. Could be, I'm starting to lean away from it a little bit. What we're seeing here is it being so weak, okay, and liquidy, that instead of it expanding out like here and then coming back in like that and then coming back out, vibrating, right? It's going, and this is where, almost if you were to think about, if you've ever watched pudding cooking in a pot, and it's like, there's like a hole. See how it's hollow here? See how this pattern is the same as this pattern? It's not firm enough and healthy enough and vital enough to hold the vibration in. And so it's going, okay? All right, so this is incredibly important. Some things I'm going to want to do in the future, and I'll share what I come up with as I move through this. I want to find a way to utilize tuning forks in people's energy fields to connect to some sort of homemade cymatic drum of some kind with sand on it to see if, or have somebody speak. I want to see if we can create patterns because I feel them in people's voices or feel it in their frequency. But this right here is going to be critical for people that have chronic illness. You truly to understand the significance of meditating and having a positive vibration. Okay. So one other thing. So I'm going to get my kind of like a little janky drawing board here. Because I want you to see something else. And this is, I think, kind of important at a quantum physics level, at a scientific level. Um, so what we see with the cells are the healthy cell, you know, has this beautiful, okay, and there's eight. It's like, so I didn't do that properly. I didn't do that properly. But there's eight. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to use black marker. So, okay. And then there's a center here. And then there's a geometric pattern because they're pushing a frequency through here, okay? And then, of course, you saw the unhealthy cell and what that looks like. It cannot hold that positive, it can't hold a vibration in it for very long, okay? And our cells communicate vibrationally from the moment we're conceived, and then the cells turn into the very first heartbeat. That's where they turn into an organ or a system, okay? So they communicate through vibration, and it's a sacred vibration. That's why this is sacred geometry, okay? So something that's really fascinating, I think, and so I wanted to share this with you as well. And I'll just do a couple of update videos from here for those of you that are interested kind of in what I'm finding in terms of how I can then try to maybe create some sort of makeshift device that can measure the cymatics through people's vibration. Now with the field, if you've heard of the quantum field, okay, the quantum field, they kind of draw it like this, right? Hopefully you can see this. You know, and then there's these dots, right? And each of these are probabilities. I'm gonna try and get this a little closer. Golly, sorry y'all. This is what happens, you know, when you're starting out. Anyway, these here, at each of the intersections here of the quantum field, is a field of potential. Okay, and so at any given moment, anything can manifest out of that field of potential, and it is dependent upon intention. Okay, intention, our intention. Okay. What's really interesting is, and probably, I don't know if it's been within like maybe the last 2 or 3 years, what they have discovered is, do you remember, now I don't know how, this dates me a little bit, but when I was growing up, we learned about there's a neutron or a nucleus, and then we've got protons and neutrons, and here's a cell, and then you've got electrons. You know, they're just sort of bouncing around, and nobody knows what the heck's going on with the electrons, but it balances things out, right? What they've discovered, because what they started to notice a little bit past around Einstein's time and a little bit after that, the electrons would just disappear and then they just would pop up somewhere else, and they'd be like, well, where did it go? And Einstein said, it was even saying, I do not believe God plays dice with the universe, talking about randomness and causality and like, where did the electron go? Well, God's not playing dice with the universe, it's going somewhere, right? Well, okay. So anyway, time moves forward, and we get into quantum physics and theoretical physics, and they start getting into the quantum level of particles, and recognizing that things work very, very, very differently than they do with what we see. Okay, and they start to realize just how probabilistic everything is. Okay, here's what's so cool to me. I'm a science nerd too. Turns out, if you wanted to look at what an electron truly is, this is what it would look like. Or you could almost think of it as, if you've ever, like, think of this, I hope you can see this. Like, this is the surface of the water, just say. Or like, and you see all these like this? But imagine it like this if you look down at it, okay? Almost like, do you know those egg carton mattress toppers? Okay? That is an electron. An electron is a field, okay? There's a field of potential based on our intention that pulls the electron through around our cells and electrically charges it based upon our intention, okay? Now, I really, really want you to think about that. A lot of the healings that I do with people, I spend time balancing their energy and doing the spinal and nervous system resets with I have healing hands as well. And the way we speak about who we are and what we're doing is so critical in understanding your intention truly is creating your health and well-being. Okay? All right. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay? I trust everybody's having a wonderful day, and take care. If you want to reach out to me, my contact information is below, and you can reach me through my website if you'd like to schedule some time to visit as well. Okay? Until then, take care all. Bye.